Hello, friends. Welcome to Missed Conversations with Rahat Beri. This episode is called Legacy of Light. We bring together global leading holistic health guru, Dr. Mickey Mehta, who's pioneered holistic health for over 45 years. Wow. And his daughter, young and charming, Karishma Mehta, who is the founder of Antar, which is a digital wellness platform. We're going to have some interesting, rare, and reflective dialogues because this is one of their first podcasts live.
The very first, in
Very
fact.
first. So, how awareness evolves through generations and how wisdom must be reinterpreted through Stay Alive. So, welcome,
Thank you.
Dr.
Thank you.
Mickey Mehta.
Rahat, thank you so much. And I love your red and white kurti. And to go with your silver shoes and white pajamas. Amazing.
What is that? But
You
thank
have to
you.
compliment a lady for whatever she is.
Yes, I
and
should give a disclaimer
very
right
pretty.
here. I can give a disclaimer right here for my dad's name humor, like I did earlier. But wonderful being here today, Rahat. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. So, Mickey, what's one lesson from your earlier years you've never shared that's defined your worldview?
Which I've never shared.
I know you shared everything,
I
but
know.
there must be something.
Well, I would rather say that don't shy away from asking for help. This is what I've never shared with her. And number two, because this whole world is an integrated conglomerate of minds and hearts. I would rather say heads and hearts. No single human being is capable of any success without the support of the foundation built by grandparents to begin with, then parents, then siblings, then relationships, then friends, and your well-wishers. My driver is as much important for my success as much as my peon, as much as my person who looks after my wardrobe. So, seek help from everybody and never shy away from saying sorry, even to the menial stuff in front of anybody and everybody. We have to set examples of our humility. So these are the two things I've never shared with her. So thankfully, today, that ask for help because you have a right and authority over everybody's help because life has to be used, not abused.
True. So, who were you, Mickey Mehta, before Mickey Mehta as an idea came
Well,
about?
a young brat thrown out of every school, and every college. And then, of course, born in Grant Road and literally in the red light area because there was a small Parsi community nestled there.
True.
And I was bunking schools, watching movies, Bollywood movies 30 times, 40 times, 50 times, rerun movies also. But I was very much interested in exercising. So while in my boarding schools, two boarding schools, one is Bhosle Military and one is Boys Town Public School, both in Nasik, I used to be playing sports and doing a lot of exercise. And then after when I came here, I joined my cousins and they made me a black belt in martial arts because my cousin Viraf Maja was a black belt in martial arts under Sensei Parvez Mistry.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Parvez Mistry. And then of course I did my first ever vegan nutrition program at the Bombay School of Nutrition, which was at KC College for a year. And that was institutionalized by Dr. Kavita Mukhi and Dr. Vijay Venkat.
Okay.
They actually are the leaders of veganism.
Yes, true.
Then, of course, things went on and I was a masseur. I did my nature cure and drugless therapy. So I used to give massages door to door for 60 rupees in 1980 while I was learning my black belt and teaching too. I used to get drenched going in local trains, literally from my chest to my below the crotch, sweating and train travel. And then so much, then bodybuilding, then swimming, and then the works, functional and calisthenics and everything.
Coming to you, Karishma, when did you see your father, not as a teacher, but simply a man finding his way?
He's never been a teacher. We've had a very friendly relationship. For me, he's more like Mickey Mouse in the house, and it's been such a strong friendship. So much to learn and grow from him. But I've seen him through his journey of growing, evolving. I remember he started off as a swimming coach, and we had a little pool that we went to, right? So I remember going there in my childhood, helping him and my mom. I was running around having fun in the pool while they were setting up and organizing. And since then, I've seen him grow, take big leaps, also see a few setbacks at times. And what I've learned from him is highs and lows are part and parcel.
True.
Never let a low define you, always conquer it.
True. That's a very interesting,
So, as my friend Mr. Parvez Damania once said, when his Damania Airlines was grounded, he said, tough times don't last, but tough people do.
True. But also tough times give you learnings,
They give you
which
learnings.
help you change.
Yeah.
I always see a problem as a learning. I don't think a problem is a problem because you will not be able to learn that if you're not faced with it. So your adeptness always comes in how do you handle a problem.
Absolutely.
So is legacy a privilege or a pressure?
Well, I think it's a blend of both. It depends on the day. Some days it's a privilege. Most days it's a privilege. I think because a lot of things that you don't have to fight for easily come to you because you inherit that legacy. So I'm always grateful for that, and I feel very humbled to have inherited that. But there are days where you feel the pressure because legacy is pitted so high.
True.
You got to fulfill and walk in those shoes. So some days are full of pressure, but like I said, I have a dad who holds my hand and walks with me through it. So yeah, thank you, and I'm so, so grateful to inherit this legacy.
Rahat, just let me tell you this, let me interject, that it's been almost a year and a half or two, I've been seeing pop-ups of Ananya Birla. And I can see that there is shadow, legacy, light
True.
of Kumar Mangalam Birla, who I've had good fortunes of being associated with. I can see that today when she speaks, that father-daughter relationship which I'm seeing, what a strong bonding. And today I can feel that bond when she speaks. And she's actually speaking so well. I'm so proud.
You can flatter me off camera.
But that's okay. In the spur of the moment, spontaneity.
I think this father-daughter bond is not serving only as an emotional landscape.
Yeah,
The real story is about timeless pursuit of balance, silence and meaning.
Absolutely,
So I think it's...
Yes, of course.
So what does light mean to each of you?
For me, I think light means wisdom and enlightenment. I see it as something that you look up to, something that guides you, something that nurtures you. So to me, light is that.
For me, you wake up in the morning with a sense of realizations of many things. That is light. Getting up in the morning is not light.
True.
Awakening in the morning with the sense of enthusiasm and a light of direction. And there is something which is pushing every individual, if in deep silent recesses of your being, if you were to gather yourself, you will see that light nudging you towards the path it wants you to take and share it with the world.
Okay, it's basically self-awakening. It's
Of course.
self-realization
Very
about
much.
yourself and,
Very much.
working towards your inner self,
Very
if
much.
I'm right.
Very much.
I think that's where Antar is, right?
Yeah, that's what Antar means, and that's
Yeah,
where it
I
stems
know.
from.
The light within, the transformational vortex within, the difference within Antar, and the space within Antar.
Yeah, the space within. Interesting. So Get Mickymised became a part of the pop culture.
Yes.
What was behind it?
I'll tell you, almost maybe 12, 13 years ago, I was giving an interview to one television channel. I think it was ET Now, if I'm not mistaken. And it was close to my birthday. And they were asking me questions. So what happens when somebody joins you? When somebody aligns with you or hires you? So I said, okay, they get energized, they do get maximized, they get optimized, they get naturalized. Then it all came out, they get internalized, they get revolutionized, they get evolutionized, they get humanized, they get immunized. With Mickey Mehta, they get mesmerized, and then it came to me, and everyone gets Mickymised.
Mickymised. Oh.
So now, my Get Mickymised messages have been around for 13 years. Okay. And for 16 years of my Radio 194.3 with Rishi K. Kannan, with the national head of Radio 1, director, I've been having a Get Mickymised morning every day. So of the 16 years I've been on air, for 13 years, we've been Mickymising India.
Okay, Mickey, what's the difference being in the industry for about 45 years? I'm sure you'd be able to help me understand. What's the difference between devotion and discipline?
So, devotion is when you have a single-minded focus. There is this word laser, and the acronym for laser, I may be a little wrong here and there, light amplified surgically emitted radiation.
Okay.
Single pinpointed focus of life. And now when there is hard focus, quantum physics says that you put attention to the field, you energize it, you put intention into it, you transform it. Okay. So the 45 years of ups and downs, and these were not this up and this down, they were these ups and these downs. And I'm trying to balance on this up again.
I think you're doing fabulously.
No, I mean, God's grace, nothing without the divine collective consciousness's will that things happen. We are just small pawns. But however, since human consciousness can rise above gods or fall below animals, our consciousness determines our destiny.
Okay.
As much it is random and indeterministic, in the non-linear time mechanism, in the indeterministic way of life, and the non-reductionist model of life, life is open-ended and fluid. Make what you want to make of it. Be the co-creator of your destiny, because you have 2 legs to walk towards it, hands to make it, a mind to perceive it, a heart to believe it, and a spirit to achieve it.
True. So Karishma, what part of your father's philosophy anchors with you?
So his philosophy has always been to start a wellness revolution for human evolution. And while the world talks about fitness and transitional fads, we're here to really talk about evolution.
True.
That wellness gives you, that are 100 steps beyond fitness. So that is one philosophy that has stuck around with me, and that has been the pure soul of Antar.
You know, she being the chip of the old block, one day she just came up with these lines. Okay, Dada, how about, the bylines of Antar, illness to wellness, how does it sound? I said, very good for marketing. Which were the other ones, if you can just repeat?
Yeah, so we stand on 5 foundational philosophies. 1 is illness to wellness. 2nd, suffering to celebration.
Okay.
3rd, circumference to center. 4th, languish to liberation.
Okay.
And 5th, frustration to freedom.
This is Mickey Mehta, chip of the old block.
So yes, so when you ask me legacy, I do inherit this philosophy too. And I think it
becomes a part of your journey.
It does, it does.
It's just a continuity.
It's when you hear it so much, it inadvertently becomes a part of your DNA, right? And then it's not a response, it's a reflex. You don't even know when you're thinking it and you believe it.
It's spontaneity.
It's that spontaneity.
Just a quick one. I've gone through your background. You've majored in technology, you've worked in the digital space. So when did you discover this passion?
So being born and raised in a family that only speaks the language of wellness, it kind of gets ingrained within you. And even though I was far away studying and working, it was a big part of me. It was a part of my life. It was a part of every choice I made, with the breath I took, with the food I ate, with what time I slept. So I was really passionate about it, and I've always been a strong advocate for wellness. And when I came back, and what happened is my dad needed some kind of tech to kind of scale and grow. And when I came back and I used to visit family for vacations, and COVID was such a long time I was at home, I really kind of built that tech structure for him. That's when he really experienced scale, and I think he tasted blood, okay? And then began the chase. Karishma, come back. Like, we got to do this and make this big. And like paths aligned, and I made my choices. I'm the only child. I wanted to be close to home, close to my parents, and start something of my own. I think it's a dream. And to have it on a platter and inherit
True.
this legacy.
And have him as a mentor.
Absolutely. So it all fit. It was the right time, the right place, and that's how it all happened.
Interesting.
And she's the master of this mentor.
Well, on some days. I'll say that. That's a disclaimer.
And she keeps telling me, you are freaking me out, freaking this, freaking that.
That is not
That's
for
okay.
podcast use.
So how does silence play a role in growth, individually and between you both?
I'll let you take that first.
It's very frustrating because she likes to lock up her doors and cut off. And I always say that this silence hurts. Silence, which is a silent, quiet gap where you allow the penny to drop, is a creative and a productive space. But silence in anguish is not.
There's a differentiation. Yeah.
That's a differentiation. So one must express, communicate to be creatively liberating.
True.
Because liberation is all about expression.
True. But there's always a need. I think I always feel the need to have your own space at times.
Solitude is good.
Huh.
But cutting away because you want to escape and run away from the situation.
Escapism is
Yeah.
not.
No.
Escapism
Process
is not.
it and collaborate in resolving it.
Okay.
That's beautiful. Because when two people come on common grounds and literally know that it takes two hands to clap and make that sound,
True.
there has to be a common ground.
Okay, you've trained celebrities, global leaders, corporates. What's one private lesson that they taught you? I'm sure you've taught them a lot, but what is your learning?
Don't ask for more. Don't be greedy. Well, I've made my mistakes. I always thought I deserve so much in life, and why not? But today I'd like to confess for the first time, today whatever I charge, I well deserve it. Because I've literally mastered the art of reversing age, ailments, and complexities of diseases. But earlier, I wasn't so, I would say, use the word, adept.
Okay.
And evolved. But thankfully today I deserve. But earlier I wasn't, and I charged for the sky when I probably deserved the earth. So there were some mistakes
It's
I
worth
made.
it, yeah, it's worth
But
it.
it's worth it. I learned my mistakes, I accept. In my silent spaces, I send out my love, my blessings, and my apologies to people who inadvertently I would have probably, not done justice to. I mean, just to say, one foolish mistake today I realized, to say no to Yash Chopra. Because when I was, the first peak, my second peak. First peak was learn swimming in 24 hours. Second peak was when Dinah Hayden, Yukta Mukhi, they all won Miss Worlds and Miss Universes.
Trained under you.
Yeah. So in my second peak, Aditya Chopra invited me through my friend Manish Malhotra. And he said, Aditya wants to meet you because he's making a movie called Mohabbatein. So I said, okay, let's go and meet him. He's saying, and there's a new star cast. Went at Yash Chopra's house. There was Aditya, and I remember Shamita Shetty, Jugal Hansraj, and only these two were there on that day.
Okay.
I was introduced, and we discussed price and everything. And evening, I was invited. He said okay to everything. By the way, he said okay to everything. And evening, Yash ji called me, and he said, "पागल हो गया क्या? अखाड़े कितना होता है क्या?" I said, "Sir, ये अखाड़ा नहीं है sir. ये polishing है, grooming है, transformation है." Those days I used to use this word transformation, which people use today. Today I am on the trajectory of evolution, blossoming of the human mind and spirit. I don't use the word transformation, it's very mundane. Okay, so it happened and I said, sorry, this is my price. You pay me in totality, in completeness, and I'll work for you. Otherwise, thank you very much. Nice knowing you. And in those days, Yash Chopra told me, अरे शाहरुख और शामक कभी मेरे से मांगते नहीं है, पैसा कभी मांगा ही नहीं है, तुम्हारा नाम बड़े पर्दे पे आएगा. बोला नाम उनका लगा दो, पैसे मुझे दे दो.
Okay.
But that was so much juvenile, immature behavior.
There's a
In
little bit of ego
hindsight,
also.
you know, in hindsight, when I see, I wasn't evolved.
Yeah.
In hindsight, maybe there was greed, maybe there was this arrogance
Yeah.
also. Today, literally having evolved to a great level, today I don't have arrogance. Today I know there is so much more to learn from Sadhguru, Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, Baba Ramdev, Ma Hansaji Yogendra, and many other top, Deepak Chopra, many other gurus. And thankfully I've met them all.
Privileged.
Yeah.
So was there ever a time you wanted to walk away from it?
Never.
Never.
If there is this one thing which kept me, stuck to my roller coaster seat, it's my focus and commitment to my subject. I was so innovative, and I am so innovative. I constantly reinvented myself and revisited everything that I knew just to know things in deeper knowledge. And I realized that knowledge is transient.
True.
Right
Very,
today
very true.
becomes wrong tomorrow.
That's so true.
But wisdom is constant. What our Rishi Muni said, Bhugol hai, thousands of years ago, before the birth of the non-linear Vedic math or maths. Bhugol means dharti gol hai.
Okay.
When the church's position was that the earth is flat.
Yeah.
Okay? They said the earth is geocentric, but our Rishi Muni said this earth is heliocentric.
Okay.
Without any tools and apparatus to find out. They were scientists, they were poets, and they were philosophers, all packed in one. Aristotle, Pythagoras, Confucius, Lao Tzu, Chuang-Tzu, Bodhidharma, and all these people came to India for wisdom, not for knowledge.
Yeah.
Including that a part of history which is a little ambiguous, but many people are now confirming it, that Christ was in India for 20 years before his awakening and enlightenment. I'm not saying that because of India he got awakened. His journey was of awakening. But it just so happened that he had to come to Kashmir, and probably Munger, there's a part of history says, Munger is where Bihar School of Yoga is.
Okay.
The ancient traditional school.
But there's always a thing, even I have a certain element of spirituality, and I've always noticed that Indians sometimes do not respect what we have. I've seen a lot of global people, following spirituality, yoga, I'm sure you followed internationally.
Yeah.
A lot more deeper, a lot more sincere. Is that true?
I'll tell you something. NASA's math and science evolution is based on the philosophy of Advaityam,
Okay.
Vedic math.
True.
So Vedic
Yeah.
math is a non-linear, non-logical, quantum in nature. Uncertainty is its domain. Yet in the randomness of all, the certainty comes out of consciousness of the soul driver.
So 1 year, learnings.
It's okay to fail. Fail as many times, and each failure teaches you a unique lesson. I think I approached failure with a lot of embarrassment before, and it was something that was really not even, I wasn't even comfortable talking about it, but I feel like now that's become a part of me. I feel like you need to own your failures, be proud of your failures, and know that it's part and parcel, right? It's these failures that kind of drive you to that goal, that dream.
True.
Yeah.
So, okay, learnings from a point of view of the people you've interacted with on your platform.
When you say people, do you mean
Your members.
the team that I'm working with,
No,
or
your members.
Okay,
the
people coming in. Understood.
Coming in.
You can also
yes.
talk about the advisors that we have you're learning through our mentors.
Yeah, so I'll break it down. Okay,
Sure.
so from my team and from my advisors, I've had the privilege to work with the best of the best, right? if I can say names, Mr. Keki Mistry, who is invested in us, Mr. Nikhil Morsawala, who strategically leads us, Dr. Sanjay Muttal, our solid pillar of strength,
Adil
and
Malia.
Mr. Adil Malia. He is such a genuine friend and support to my dad. It is because of these advisors that Antar has seen the light of the day.
My other friend, Zaksis Dastur, these are all luminaries, academicians, and the sharpest of minds.
Yeah, and guess what? We have the privilege to work with them all.
Yeah.
And she has easy access
Get a little
to them.
bit of everybody.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
getting inputs from everybody.
I
is
love it. I
fabulous.
love it. And from what I learned from them in terms of their experience and knowledge is immeasurable, invaluable. And how I take it to create a product and what I get from people who buy and consume Antar services is that we take that one step where we are compassionate, where we believe in therapeutic healing, where we believe that if nothing else works, Antar will. And every single user who comes our way stands by this belief with us. So
Yeah,
that,
Antar.
yeah, Antar,
Yeah,
and that is the most gratifying feeling in the world. When my team gets their due, when they see that the work that they're doing is so appreciated, it's a great feeling.
Okay, I will shift that question a little more. So, we are a global wellness platform. I'm sure we deal with a lot of issues related to health, wellness.
Yeah.
What are some of the key ones where you see people reaching out to you?
At Antar, there's a lot happening in PCOD, PCOS. I probably am a representation of that audience too. A lot of us women out there who struggle with hormonal issues in today's hustle culture, I think our hormones have taken the biggest step back, and there is no harmony within our hormones. And so at Antar, what we really do is we bring that harmony back to you in your life. So PCOD, PCOS, one of them, and it's the most common thing, but it still prevails. Weight management, everybody's struggling, trying to lose saturating weight. People have tried all the fad diets of the world, and nothing works. It saturates, it plateaus. That's
a
when
lot of
Antar
it is
works.
lifestyle issue.
It's a lot. It's lifestyle issues, but it's also a need to fit like this cookie cutter mold, right? There is so much to do with mental health that then comes into play. To accept one for who they are, to believe that healing is the answer. It's not just shedding and ripping your body. So I think that is the angle and perspective that Antar brings to common ailments that I just
And
talked
I
about.
think Karishma, it's worth taking a leaf out of her book that while I do a lot of bespoke, and generally on platforms there is no bespoke health.
Online platforms. you
Online
mean.
platforms. So she said, why not we do something so constitutional specific also here? Instead of doing en masse, let's do this as well. So constitution specific, gender specific, age specific,
True.
concern specific, objective specific.
Yeah, because each audience has a specific
Absolutely,
need.
yeah. But
You
I
talk
believe
about
that's-
women.
yeah.
You're talking about Gen Zs. You're talking in each generation has
Correct. And
challenges.
this is our cutting edge. This is what we do differently over anybody else today.
कितने प्रतिशत भारतीय प्रकृति के अनुसार आपकी चिकित्सा करते हैं? Only Antar. No, I'm sure many others are doing. I mean, my friend Luke Coutinho is doing a great job. Ryan Fernando is doing a great job. Neha Ranglani is doing a great job. Pooja Makhija is doing a great job. Sarita Daure and whosoever I remember, they're doing lovely, great jobs.
So since you spoke about healing, I'm going to ask this question to both of you all. What's one truth about healing that people really understand?
That it's boring. It takes time. Healing is consistency. Healing sometimes can be monotonous. Healing is really simple. It is not grand. It is not over the top. It is as simple as aligning your breath. So it can be consistent, it can be monotonous, it can be boring, and it can take time. But when it happens, there's no going back.
But intimate involvement in the process keeps you at it. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
And
You
the
need to keep
experience
going.
of change grows from within because you have ears to the ground to know what is happening.
Yeah.
It's like if a mother is pregnant, the baby is growing every nanosecond for those 9 months. The tree is growing every nanosecond, every day. And so is the grass. But in our awareness, we only recognize the growth with the reference frame of time of the past and now or future. So if you're attentive, intimate, then it becomes more interesting.
So you got to be alert.
You got to be alert, and I feel like as a word, it's very glamorized, but as a process, it's not, and that's okay.
It's like Curd Karma, my 8th book. You take little bit of yogurt, you take milk, you blend it together, you leave it for 12 hours. अगर हर घंटे चम्मच घुमाओगे तो दही कैसे जमेगा यार? So sometimes you have to leave things alone for them to get reoriented, reorganized, because there is this innate intelligence of collective consciousness which is at play, whether we like it or not, whether we are aware or not.
Also, while we're talking healing, I think something which you would have had an experience of, it's a lot of internal healing also, right?
Yeah.
It's where people do not consciously, they said, okay, I've got to heal, but the internal healing is a lot more to it. Would you like to add on to that?
Yes, certainly. Because what is healing? Absence of wholeness. And why absence of wholeness? Because for the reasons of entropy, which is as per laws of physics, the universal tendency of orderliness breaking into disorderliness. So you have broken. Once a person is broken in thoughts, words, emotions, body, time, matter, space, light, motion, mass, causation, effect. Okay. Accepting that you're broken is the first step towards healing. Recognizing that you're broken. I would rather say recognize that you're broken. And once you recognize you're broken, then your attention moves towards solution. Not recognizing that you're broken, you're struggling in denial, and there is no solution in sight. So, in Sanskrit, there is samarpan to collective consciousness, which is submissiveness with grace. Then there is swikriti, acceptance with grace both. Then you get universal samarthan. The collective consciousness magnetic field becomes coherent with your magnetic field. So you get किसी भी चीज को शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात लग जाती है उसको हासिल करने में. So because of samarpan and swikriti, you get samarthan of the whole kainat. And the kinetic energy of the kainat becomes creative culmination for you. Thereafter, you become samarth, all capable. Then you become saksham, all potential. Then you get the sakshi bhav of awareness. You become a sakshi. Then you get siddhi. And then there is samruddhi and samadhi.
So much of learning. Okay, which of your life's mistakes has become your greatest blessing?
Well, spending more than you have in your pocket. Learning from that. But now, in hindsight, I've begun to realize that abundance should be in your attitude. I, recall lines of biblical lines. Fear not, no harm shall come to you, for the emissaries of the kingdom are watching upon you. Have faith and you will have more. And when you don't have faith, you will lose whatever little you have. Remember, there have been kings who've begged with the dignity of the beggar, and there have been beggars who've lived with the authority and audacity of kings. So although my realizations did come across, and today I don't give much credence to materialism, like 20 years ago, a Rolex watch was very important to me, and a Mercedes-Benz, not anymore now.
True, this more.
Now, getting people off ICU beds, getting people to walk again and run again from being bedridden after 90, which we've succeeded very much. Now helping and working alongside medical science and helping people get off cancer, off diabetes, off paralysis, off neuro attacks, cardiac attacks, and helping people with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, amnesia is what
There's a satisfaction
my wealth is.
to it.
These are my aspirations.
There's a certain amount of satisfaction.
But not out
to
of
it.
ego, out of genuinely wanting to see happy families and smiling faces. And God has been kind, and we are
So I
afloat.
think, yeah, I think there's so much of contentment, and
There is.
also the more we call it in our spiritual language is serving. The
And
more you serve, the more you get.
At this juncture, I'd like to thank my two partners. One is that Just Lok Hospital. So I'm the holistic health partner with Just Lok Hospital. They recognized my talent and they identified that I was the one to be chosen to work with them closely. And secondly, Tata Memorial Hospital. It's almost many, many years my wellness center is out there, and it's a non-profit center. And I've been blessed that I've worked with very many doctors, very many surgeons, very many orthos, neuros, and very many custodians and very oncos. And I'm blessed.
Okay, this is a question to you, Mickey, and it will lead to you, Karishma. You've always been an offline, right?
Master.
So yeah. So this addition of online, how do you feel?
It started with all the frustrations.
And how do you keep up with it?
Yeah, so in COVID, when people were sitting at home, there were these few people I know, that Luke Coutinho, myself, we were flooded with 3-4 corporate workshops and many consultations a day online. Thankfully, Karishma had come home. And Karishma, 6:29,
You were a blessing
opened the
in
laptop.
disguise.
I told you he
And I
tasted
didn't
blood.
know what, I mean, Tare Zameen Par, I was completely ADHD, dyslexic, everything. Are kidhar tha, open, switch on, sound, video, all that. But today, thankfully, I don't have a laptop yet. I don't know how to operate it. I don't even log into my own handle and respond, or I cannot do a live post. But today I can get onto a Google Meet, on a Zoom call. I've learned that much. So that was the journey. And I'm very happy and comfortable in that space. By and by, I'm sure I will evolve and learn and upgrade myself. But there is no desperate need to do that. I have 3-4 agencies working for me.
And also
I have a team
the
working
fact
for me.
is, Mickey, you've laid a great foundation. So I think that foundation itself in what you're putting in with holistic health will have the continuity very well in the wellness space, I
Yeah.
think.
I'll tell you,
picking up that parts of it.
As much technology, people are calling it a bane. I said no. Bane if you don't use it well. You are the master, you've created it, let it serve your purpose. So if you use the technology to serve your purpose, we are on the cusp of the golden age where technology will not just determine the future and be the future enabler, it will also be the manifester.
Fabulously said, yeah.
Yeah.
It's how you actually use it smartly.
Very much.
It's
very
very,
much.
very important. What's one generational misunderstanding between you two that taught you resilience?
Our thoughts on execution, but how to resolve it, because at the end of the day, you have to go back home. He's your dad, and you don't
Bas,
want.
out of no choice.
You don't want to
Out
take
of choice.
fights. You don't want to take fights home, right? You want to develop that thick skin, that resilience to kind of put that in another bucket and be like, this is my work frustration and relationship, and this is my dad, and it cannot cross paths.
No,
True.
this is my dada.
But yeah, so that is my main takeaway, and that's how I have developed resilience, and even like very clear boundaries. That
She puts life in different boxes. For me,
But that's the generation.
No, for me, life is one box. Because in this one box, there ought to be a harmonious confluence of it all. Only that is the way. Because life is seldom a lake. Life is more an ocean in motion. It teaches you how to surf. And the fun and the awareness of surfing and knowing that change is a constant phenomena, just be alert, aware, and be the choreographer of your own change.
Yeah.
If time and tide has disturbed the dynamics, the same time and tide will restore the dynamics.
Well put. So what's one thing your generation gets right about balance?
it's very easy for us to say no. I think earlier, like he bends backwards, and sometimes, like it breaks his heart to say no to people, but it's very easy for our generation to say no. Like, no, we don't want it like this. No, we don't want to go out. No, we don't want to spend time right now. And just no, period. And I think the ability to say no is what brings that balance so easily, because, you get to do a big share of what you like, and then you let go of things that you don't like, and it comes really easy.
So you don't want to make an effort.
Exactly. And I think, it's so cut off sometimes, and everybody's in their own bubble, that it's really easy to kind of stay away from things that you don't want to do, put yourself out of your comfort zone. And so that kind of balance is something that we can strike. But when I see my parents, or like my aunts and uncles, they bend backwards. Like, there is no balance, and it's sometimes even at the cost of themselves. So yeah.
I always say our life is a gift for others to celebrate and enjoy. I also say that no is not a natural condition of the mind of a humanity. No is a learned phenomena of reactions of your past problems, issues, and troubles that you've had. In reality, I always say that be life affirmative. Because life affirmative brings you to a point and philosophy of saying why not instead of saying why. Because no sooner you say why not, which means you open the door to all possibilities. Who is a good yogi? Not the one who can get into acrobats and give you a good demonstration, pradarshan of asanas. No. A good yogi opens up his own body, and so his mind opens too as a byproduct of it. He opens up the convolutions of his body, so the convolutions of the mind also open up too. He opens up the possibilities in the body.
True.
So you open up the possibilities in your mind too. And yes, I've heard about many people that you knock at the door and they will try every bit to accommodate you and never say no. So it is me. I've met up with people, and many such people in my friend circle, who've never said no to me. And there was one biggest industrialist wife, I would say Mrs. Rajeshri Birla. It's because of her we today probably are alive. She never said no to me. And I bless their family, bless their souls, and bless their children, that may they have so much in life. So I think every human being should cultivate with courage and creativity a way to say yes to life. You remember Shamak Dawar's show? He was working with specially enabled children, and the name of the show was Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. What a beautiful show.
That too was sponsored by Aditya Birla Group.
No, they do a lot in the social. And what I like about them is they're very, very quiet.
They don't talk.
Understated. Very,
They
very
don't talk.
understated. That's so. How do you find truth among the digital noise?
That is a tough one. I struggle with it sometimes. I don't think I have the truth discovered every single time, but I try and stay away from the noise. I try to stay away from the chit-chat that brings me down or makes me question anything that I believe in. But I believe that truth lies in my closest relationships. And like he said, never refrain from taking help. I always ask. If there are concepts that I'm not sure about, or if there is truth that I'm struggling with, and if my voice is not very loud, I rely on the voice of my loved ones to kind of guide me there.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Absolutely
Okay?
right.
I had written these lines sometime back in the day, that facts are frivolous, reality is relative, logic is lame, but the truth is absolute. Now the definition of truth. Truth simply is what is, remains, what is and remains abides. What is, remains and abides, perpetuates. What is, remains, abides and perpetuates becomes perennial. What is, remains, abides, perpetuates and becomes perennial becomes eternal.
Okay.
And what is eternal is constant.
Yeah.
Truth is constant.
Truth is
it's
constant.
the non-change amidst the change.
Yeah, it's true. So what's one belief you've outgrown?
A belief that I've outgrown is that the way you look defines you. I think everybody believes that it's an aesthetic world today. you want to look a certain way, feel a certain way, and people know and believe that that truly defines you. But I feel like it's what you have on the inside. It's your personality. It's what you bring to the table with love and effort that really defines you. And that's so much beyond how you look or
The
how you are
physicality,
perceived. Yeah. So aesthetics don't define you. Who you are as a person and what you bring to the table is what really defines you. And I think that is when you realize that true friendships are so much beyond good looks and aesthetics. True relationships are so much beyond just good looking people. It's the quality of the person that matters.
So that's what we say, when we talk. We always say, you don't look at a person from what the person is all about,
Yeah.
what the person defines, what the person. So we use the word soul because that's your inner conscious.
Exactly.
That's your soul. So,
Yeah.
as a soul, what kind of a soul are you?
Yeah.
So, if you are a pure soul, it will reflect so well on.
This a very good doha comes to my mind कि किस उलझन में मैं पड़ गया गालिब, धूल मेरे चेहरे पे थी और आईना साफ करते गया. Because I have illusions about the way I look. And what she says that looks are what define you from within. Being and becoming, the way you are is the way you become. So, there is one paribhasha of yoga, one definition of yoga. Okay, yoga brings individuality and independence of your being. So it says कि स्वयं में स्थित, स्वयं में उपस्थित, स्वयं में होना, स्वयं को होने देना, स्वयं में स्वतंत्र बनना, स्वतंत्रता का स्वामी बनना, अंतर्यामी बनना, ऊर्ध्वगामी बनना. Urdhgami banna is start levitating upwards towards self-realizations from being hooked into the kundalini movement of fight, flight, fornicate and food. So, being and becoming is the way you should be looking in reality.
That's so true. That's so true.
आंतरिक अवस्था कुछ ऐसी हो जाए कि बाहर खूबसूरती आ जाए.
That's true. That's true. So, this is one question for you. You have a lot of the new age, wellness issues like we spoke about, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, all because of the kind of lifestyles and poor nutrition. Also, it includes sleep deprivation and, mental health, etc. So, do you think these are issues which are of the new generation? Or these are things which we've carried through?
Okay, so let me first use a very appropriate word. Lifestyle, unfortunately, is not the appropriate connotation here. It's a way of life.
Okay.
This cannot be a style quotient, right?
True.
Okay? It's a way of life. The path of being and becoming. The Zen, the path of the pathless, Advaityam philosophy. So here I would say that the way humanity has evolved from being hunters and gatherers to farmers and appreciators and lovers.
Okay.
From fighters to artists. From fight and flight to stability and celebration. We have evolved. But unfortunately, with evolution, our minds evolved, and so did the convenience of life and living evolved. For the convenience of life and living to evolve, we needed the industry age, the industrial age. Then came the technological age. So the agricultural age, Stone Age, agricultural age, where we were settlers.
Yeah.
Because love happened, unison happened, okay, celebration happened, seasons happened,
Relationships
crop
happened,
happened,
yeah.
family units happened, attachment, emotions happened. And after the industrial age, the technological age. Now, all across the ages, we've taken quantum leaps. Especially in the last 75 years, we've taken huge leaps. The change is so rapid that tomorrow there will be a new technology for everything that we do today. But yes, they keep it under wraps because they want to exhaust the technology, earn money out of their R&D and everything, every time invested into it, all the time invested, and then unleash the other onto humanity. So technological aspirations to evolve better, aspirations of convenience, celebration, enjoyment, so-called happiness, and getting inundated with content and convenience and creativity of living and fashion and food, where everything is camouflaged and nothing is real. We are drawn out of our center. So the dis-ease is because we are drawn out of our center towards the paridhi. So हम केंद्रित थे, केवल्य थे, अब परिधि पे चक्कर काट रहे हैं और कितनी परतें हम पे जम गई हैं.
Yeah.
So we have to remove all those layers to realize that the chase for sex and sense sex is so meaningless and so useless. As I said, 20, 30 years ago, I bought a GL which I couldn't afford. I got so many Rolexes which I could have invested into my company.
But there was that.
That was the time. There is no regret, because regret is heavier than earth and a stigma is darker than black. Don't cry over spilt milk, lick it or clean it.
So, I just want to talk to you about one more point. I think prior to the beginning post, you spoke something about destiny and death.
Yeah. So I always say that death and disease shouldn't be mankind's destiny, shouldn't be human destiny. Death and disease brings disgrace to mankind. Okay. A man is born to live immortal life, because at the ultimate pinnacle and crescendo of creativity comes mankind. That mankind who had the potential to become Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Muhammad, Christ. Okay, so Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahadev, Zarathustra, Buddha, Saraswati, Durga. We were all human beings in seed form. They nurtured, they blossomed, they evolved and became gods. What stops you and me? Because our evolution is going in a diametrically opposite direction.
True.
We are not just deeply rooted in fight, flight, fornicate and food chakra. We are going downwards, more instinctive.
We can see that, and that's globally,
The whole liberation and moksha is about setting yourself free from the instinctive shackles to intelligence, creativity. So that you are no longer trapped in the smriti of your ancestors, which are your animals. So, man is a product of mana, manasthiti, parasthiti. And mana is manushya.
True.
मनुष्य के नीचे है पशु वर्ग और मनुष्य के ऊपर है पुरुष पुरुषार्थ वर्ग, देवी देवताओं का वर्ग. तो जो मन का हमारा वो मनुष्य जो प्रकृति से पूरा होता है वो पूरक होता है. जो पूरक होता है वो पुरुष होता है, पुरुषार्थ होता है. शायद वही पुरुषोत्तम राम होता है. और मैं सिर्फ उस राम की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ जो अयोध्या में आए थे. मैं उस रामा की बात कर रहा हूँ जो हर युग में आते हैं. क्योंकि रामा को उल्टा करो तो अमर होता है, और जब अमृत की धारा सहस्त्रा से लेके मूल धार तक का सफ़र करती है तो कृष्ण की राधा बन के लौट आती है. इसलिए हम कहते हैं हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Sorry for boring you.
Okay.
But the Ardhanarishwar concept of the unison of the feminine nature and the masculine nature of human being is perfectly seen in Krishna and Ram. Krishna was feminine nature, वो भद्र थे.
Okay.
Rama was a masculine nature.
Yeah.
And the confluence of two is the birth of yoga. Yoga births new realities out of harmonious confluence.
True. They say we are in the confluence age right now.
Well, we are in the acrimonious age, so to say. But as I said, that being on the golden, in the part of the golden era, on the cusp of the golden era, if we awaken and be more creative, we will create a better universe.
Absolutely.
Or we will destroy it all, and God will say one fine day, thank you mankind, it was a great experiment. Dinosaurs will come again, earth will be green again. Yeah?
Yes, true. Okay, just a quick one. Antar, What is your core mission when you started off, Antar?
So we are marching towards creating a disease-free world, one individual at a time, one disease at a time. Nobody, like he said, death and disease shouldn't be a part of anybody's destiny, and that is the core at Antar.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
I think it's got a very deep,
Yeah.
Very deep
Very
connotation.
deep connotation.
And many interpretations.
Yeah. And what's your definition of health?
My definition of health is everything that heals is health. Now, the very etymology of the word health comes from Latin. Heal thy, heal them, heal thou. And I always say that fitness is at the lowest rung. Don't give it much significance on the ladder of evolution. Then comes health, wellness, and well-being. So fitness gives you strength, stamina, agility, resilience, tenacity, endurance, and fitness is over. At the level of health, where healing is the way of life, what happens is it's a coming together of your cellular community for an evolved immunity for humanity. Because with health comes nourishment. Then comes wellness.
Okay.
Now wellness, so when you are nourished, when you are immuned, so at the level of wellness comes a soundness of the mind, because homeostasis happens to you with immunity, with ultimate nourishment, and the poise that you have. So mentally you get healed. Your broken pieces become one piece, P-I-E-C-E, which brings P-E-A-C-E. So mental emotional wellness comes at wellness. What happens at well-being typically, because you get synchronized, you're rhythmic, you're in the flow, and you're cooperating and collaborating with the destiny to create your own and that of the others together, simultaneously. You become intuitive, you have foresights, you have insights, you become compassionate, you become empathetic, you become sympathetic. You become the co-creator of everyone's destiny.
Okay.
So this is the ladder of evolution. So health, अगर आप उसको हिंदी में पूछते हैं कि स्वास्थ्य की परिभाषा क्या है? स्वास्थ्य means स्वयं में आस्था.
Okay.
स्वास्थ्य.
Swastha.
और स्वास्थ्य स्वर और सुर से निकलता है.
So, yeah.
कि श्वास means your breath. श्वास से बने स्वर, स्वर से बने सुर, सुर से निकले गीत. श्वास, स्वर, सुर, गीत संगत में हो तो स्वास्थ्य बने संगीत. And you can be the author of your own destiny. Aham Brahmasmi. Tattvamasi.
Interesting.
Soham.
Very well defined.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go to the last part where we ask 5 quick questions. So we start with you, Karishma. One piece of advice from your father you quietly disagree with.
So many, not just once, but I think a lot of tech stuff is what I disagree with. He has a very old school way of operating. Like he loves using voice notes, and I'm more of a text person, and we just don't get it right.
Boss's privilege.
Maybe.
The morning ritual that actually works.
I start my morning with a lot of herbal tea, and I'm a big believer in ghee first thing in the morning, and I swear by it. It works.
Yeah, I've been told.
Yes.
A lot of people.
Fat first,
Abhi
and
Huh?
and
Sure. Why
A2
not?
cow desi ghee. Like 1 teaspoon is all you need.
Harvard flipped their studies 30, 40 years ago. There was a huge hue and cry about cholesterol and then about the cold pressed oils and the ghee to be avoided. Now they've turned diametrically
Right.
opposite.
The one social media myth about wellness you delete forever.
Keto diets.
Yeah.
Like we've had enough. I think we need to move on from those.
I think a lot of people have moved on. Everybody
Yeah,
who's
I
tried it.
really hope so, because it's something that's it's a quick fix. It is not, like he said, it's not your ladder to wellness and well-being. You can shed weight for sure, but it needs
It
to go
affects
beyond
other
that.
parts of it.
It needs to go beyond that. We need to move beyond any fad diet.
The most mindful act that isn't about meditation.
So 2 things come to my mind. I think be grateful. I think practicing a prayer of gratitude to just remind you about what you have and how it's a privilege. And sitting in silence. I think silence is the first step to meditation. You don't need to get into any fancy breath work, pranayama, any pose. Just being with yourself in a state of silence.
You see, silence can bring about a lot of reflection
Yeah.
and inner
Absolutely.
clarity.
Yeah.
Gives
So these two, I think they worked for me. I'm not somebody who can say I've arrived when it comes to meditation, but they're your building blocks, and I swear by them.
I think it's always a starting point.
Absolutely.
One
turn?
life lesson.
My turn?
Yes. One life lesson every 20-year-old must unlearn.
That life is unfair to you many a times, but you still be fair to it because you are born fair. Your original anatomy of your mental and spiritual makeup is to be fair and always say yes.
Okay. The most misused word in wellness today.
Mindfulness. For God's sake, it is mindlessness. Empty your mind and mind the emptiness, because खालीपन, खाली होने की कला, शांत बैठने की कला. And once you are completely empty, the qualitative being to that empty is emptiness, of which everything is born, to which everything returns. It's the Shunyam Quotient, my first book, which has become a bestseller. The Shunyam Quotient. That it is the abyss from which everything is born, to which everything returns, and in between is a transient point of what we call life, a temporary expression of being, your transient being.
The celebrity who most surprised you with their spiritual discipline.
Well, not spiritual discipline, but a celebrity who surprised me were two people. One is Anil Ambani, because, I don't know, almost 30, 35 years ago, when I took on the mandate of making him lose weight and giving him the kind of fitness he was aspirant or desirous about, bang on time. He used to show me the watch when I was a minute late.
Wow.
And next was Amir Khan, when he was training for Talash with me. So between Talash and Dhoom, so he, his wife Kiran, the then wife Kiran, was working with my friend and client, Mrs. Srila Chatterjee Mathai. Okay? And she had put me on, and they said that when I was looking after him, he used to train at 3:34 in the morning after finishing his shoots. And I thought, कि वो करेगा. And well, the shoot got over, he spotted me, Mickey, let's go. Yeah. And there were times, on the very first day, 5:45, Bandra, I go there. And I go there, I reached at 5:45, and he had said we'll start at 6. He stepped out at 6. Wow. And he didn't question my methodology of training him for swimming. He wanted to swim that time. So I got the barrels of Three Idiots, literally, and he had just finished that movie. And I filled in hot water. And I made him experience the buoyancy and how to breathe out in the water. And as you come out, how to breathe in through the mouth. It's the opposite of land. Okay, so until you do it 100 times, it doesn't become your second nature. And before I take him to the pool, and we are struggling there, and I thought in warm water at home. So we did 2 days of that. He didn't question it. And then we went out. So these were the two people. Oh, one is, sorry. Preeti Zinta. Worth taking a leaf out of a book and bang on professional. And actually, when I was training her during Salam Namaste, and we were there together for 45 days, I was seeing her giving commitments on phone and for shoots, and she was always getting hyper, whether she had to shoot for Pepsi or to report for Veer Zara on the sets and discussing things with the costume designers. I remember she was very, very particular and meticulous about her discipline.
If your body could speak one sentence to you, what would it say?
I love you. Love is the single most creative energy on this earth, love unites, integrates, and celebrates not just humanity, but the whole multiverse.
True. It's the most important thing. The mantra that still evolves for you.
Dhanyavad, dhanyavad, dhanyavad. So dhanyavad is a part of a samvad where there is samabhav, bhavana, where every inch and centimeter of your body is screaming in gratitude. So thank you is frivolous. Dhanyavad, which means I thank you that aap dhanya ho jao. For everyone who's done good to me, I thank that aap dhanya ho jao. So dhanya ka vaad. It's a blessing.
Thank you very much. I think it was a lovely session and so much of learning, and all the best for Antar. I think your mission, your thoughts, and your direction, and having a mentor like him, I can see growing leaps and bounds. All the best.
It was wonderful being here today, Rahat. Thank you for your time. And I felt so comfortable and I had so much fun. So lovely.
Likewise.
Just a little bit on Antar, that I'm reminded of William Blake's poem, that we are led to believe a lie when we see from and not through the eyes, for we are born in the night to be perished in the night, while our souls rest in the beams of light. So open up your inner eyes to see the Antar and don't perish just like that. Jalaluddin Rumi said some wonderful lines of the within again, that I've been living on the lip of insanity, asking questions, knocking at the door opens, I've been knocking from inside. And me and Karishma today, I would say the woods are lovely, dark and deep, and there are promises to keep. Miles before we go to sleep. Miles before we go to sleep. And last 1 minute, my 10 commandments of wellness, I always sign off with. Dr. Mickey Mehta's 10 commandments of wellness. Commandment number 1, let wellness be the religion number 1, because religions divide, wellness unites. Commandment number 2, join Dr. Mickey Mehta's and Antar's wellness revolution for human evolution, not for pet kaise kam hoga, ye kaise kam hoga. Commandment number 3, the best exercise for strong biceps is to uplift the poor. Commandment number 4, the best exercise for strong shoulders is to take the responsibility of the underprivileged. Commandment number 5, the best exercise for strong legs is to be rooted in humility, to be better fruited in humanity. Commandment number 6, sleep every night with a wish to heal yourself and wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world, and then you'll get energized, maximized, optimized, naturalized, internalized, eternalized, revolutionized, evolutionized, humanized, immunized, revitalized. With Rahat, everyone gets mesmerized. With Mickey Mehta and Karishma Mickey Mehta, everyone gets hypnotized. And all three of us can get everyone Mickymised.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hi, friends. If you've enjoyed the content, please do like, subscribe, and share Missed Conversations with Rahat Beri. Thank you.